بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم الحمد لله رب العالمين صلى الله على سيدنا ونبينا أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد
صل على محمد وآل محمد
وآله الطيبين الطاهرين لا سيما بقية الله في الأرضين أجل الله تعالى فرجه الشريف اللهم أخرجني من ظلمات الوهم وأكرمني بنور الفهم اللهم افتح علينا أبواب رحمتك وانشر علينا خزائن علومك برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. We continue our discussion about Tawakkul. Inshallah, we finish our discussion today. There are two remaining points. One is the difference between Tawakkul and rida. So the late Imam Khomeini here has a discussion about the difference between Tawakkul and rida. To put our trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and to be pleased with Him. So he says the station or position of rida is higher than the position of Tawakkul. You know, sometimes, this is my explanation, sometimes we are talking about Tawakkul and rida as action, as verb, as we say in grammar, or action in an ontological sense, that now I put my trust in Allah, or I am pleased with Allah in this decision or in this matter. But sometimes it's a station, it's a condition which is more endurable, to be in the condition of tawakkul, to be a mutawakkil, by putting your trust in Allah in one or two cases, you don't become mutawakkil. Or by being pleased with Him in few issues, you are not in the position of rida. So here the focus is on the position of rida and the position of tawakkul. He says the position of rida is higher than tawakkul. Why? He says the one who is mutawakkil, he is asking and seeking good. He wants goodness. He wants interest. He wants, for example, success, whatever. And then he knows that he needs Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's help. So he put his trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and asked Allah to be like his wakil, to act on his behalf. So he has some interest, he has some aims and objectives, and ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to be helping him in achieving those aims and objectives. But the one who is in the position of rida has no aims and objectives of himself, has no will. His will is the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. One of the people in this position was asked, what do you want? And he said, I want not to want. Means I have reached the point that I prefer not to have any desire of my own. He was told, Ma turid, what do you want? And he said, Uridu Allah urid, I want not to want. Means I have decided not to have any will, any desire of myself. So this is higher than the position of tawakkul. In the hadith that we had at the beginning of this part, Imam alayhi salam said, you should be pleased with whatever Allah does with you. That rida which was mentioned in the context of tawakkul is different from maqam tawakkul and maqam rida. That rida was for someone who is doing tawakkul and is pleased with what happens to him after tawakkul. So don't get confused between the position of rida and what Imam alayhi salam said about being pleased with what Allah makes as your decree. The next point is, what is the difference between tawakkul and tafwid? And then between tawakkul and tafwid and thiqah. Tafwid is to delegate your affair to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And according to Khaja Abdullah Ansari in Manazil al-Sa'irin, stations of the wayfarers, he says, At-tafwidu altafu isharatan wa awsa'u ma'nan min at-tawakkul. He says, tafwid is more subtle and more inclusive than tawakkul. Then he says, At-tawakkulu shu'batun min. Indeed, tawakkul is a branch of tafwid. So tafwid is more inclusive, more comprehensive, more far-reaching. And the way he explains is that he says, tawakkul means, according to him, tawakkul means that in your interest, in masalih, in interest, you trust Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But tafwiz is that you delegate everything to Him. Every aspect of your life, you delegate it to Him. Another difference, he says, is that tawakkul is when something is happening. For example, there is a war, or you want to do business, you want to do something, and that's where you put your trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But tafwid can be even before something is happening. In your entire life, you can have tafwid. Imam Khomeini says, but tawakkul can be the same. We can have tawakkul and tafwiz both when something is happening, we are in the process of doing something, or we are approaching happening of something, or it can be general. This is not a big difference. And also to say that tawakkul is a branch of tafwiz, he says this is also not something which is proved. And it seems to me that maybe we can say that tafwid is higher than tawakkul, because tawakkul is that you are still thinking that you are in charge and you want to do something, but you need help, so you do ista'ana, or you think that is more than asking for help. You say, you please do this for me. If you remember in the lecture we had in Muharram 2016, October 2016, I explained 4 levels of bringing Allah to our life. So we said that tafwiz is higher than tawakkul, because in tafwiz you delegate your effort to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So it means that you have reached a point that you feel you are somehow useless. Not that you are lazy. No, you do your best, but you say, I delegate to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and just I, pretend that I am doing something. I do my best, but it's Him who is in charge. He is not my wakil. I am His agent. Everything I have delegated to Him. And then we have thiqah. Thiqah in Arabic means to trust, to rely on something. And Khaja Abdullah Ansari says الثقة سواد عين التوكل ونقطة دائرة التفويض وسويداء قلب التسليم. If you imagine an eye, then the apple of the eye is very important part, the center. So he says tawakkul can be taken as an eye, and the apple of the eye is thiqah. Or you can consider tafwiz as a circle, and the central point is thiqah. Or taslim, submission, can be taken as heart, and the very internal part of that heart is thiqah. So it means that neither tawakkul nor tafwiz, no even taslim can be achieved without thiqah. So thiqah is such an important thing. But what is thiqah? Means you believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's power and excellence and help and love and everything, and you trust Him, you rely on Him, as we have in the Hadith, ثق به فيها وفي غيرها. You must rely on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and be sure about His availability and His presence and support in every effort, in every matter, in this case or any other case. So this is the discussion here. I hope to some extent it's clear. It's a very brief discussion, but maybe if you refer to that lecture in October 2016, inshallah would be useful. The main thing is that these qualities sometimes also repeat in a higher level. This is a new reflection that I have had after giving that lecture and can be also applicable here. I think what our ulama say about difference between tawakkul and tafwiz, this is good and acceptable. But then after more reflection, I came to this conclusion that maybe we can have tawakkul of a person who is also doing tafwiz. Or for example, I said in that lecture that at the end is abd, who has no affair to delegate to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But again, abd receives some assignments from his Lord. Again, in doing that assignment, which is not his own affair, he can do tawakkul and tafwiz and ista'ana. So it seems to me that now we can imagine like a kind of building that every section has like 4 levels. But then there is for example, in the first section 4 levels, then another section, again those 4 levels. But the 4 levels in the second section are higher than the 4 levels in the first section, although they may be called the same. So tawakkul of someone is lower and tawakkul of someone is higher are different from each other. Okay, so this is about Hadith number 13. Hadith number 14 is khawf and raja. Let us read the Hadith and translate it, and inshallah we can explain it in the next session. So Imam Khomeini says, بِالسَّنَدِيَ الْمُتَّصِلِ إِلَى Muhammad ibn Yaqub, according to his own chain of narrators, which connects him to Sheikh al-Kulayni, Muhammad ibn Yaqub al-Kulayni, the one who compiled Al-Kafi. And he mentions him with respect. He says, ثقة الإسلام وعماد المسلمين. ثقة الإسلام وعماد المسلمين. The one who is trusted in Islam and is also a pillar for Muslims. So Muslims rely on him. عن عدة من أصحابنا. So Sheikh Kulaini narrates from more than one narrator, from Ahmad ibn Muhammad, from Ali ibn Hadid, from Mansur ibn Yunus, from Haris ibn Mughayra, or Abi, one of the two, from Imam Sadiq alayhi salam. قال قلت له ما في وصية لقمان, or ما كان في وصية لقمان. He says, I told Imam alayhi salam, what was in the advice or will of Luqman? What was Luqman advising? قال كان فيها الأعاجيب. Imam alayhi salam said there were wonders in his will or his advice. وكان أعجب ما كان فيها أن قال لابنه. And one of the most astonishing, surprising things in that advice was that Luqman said to his son, خف الله عز وجل خيفة لو جئته ببر الثقلين لعذبك وارجو الله رجاء لو جئته بذنوب الثقلين لرحمك. The most astonishing thing that he used to say to his son was this, that fear God, a type of fear that you are worried that even if you bring all the good action and piety of jinn and ins, jinns and human beings, still he would have punished you. Means don't put any trust in your actions. Even if you have best action and all actions, good actions of human beings and jinns, still you must have this worry that la'adzabak, he may punish you. So no chance for ujb, no chance for self-admiration. But on the other hand, have such a hope in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that if you bring sins of human beings and jinns, you would have a hope that he would have mercy upon you. ثم قال أبو عبد الله عليه السلام. Then Imam Sadiq عليه السلام said, كان أبي يقول, my father Imam Baqir used to say, إنه ليس من عبد مؤمن إلا وفي قلبه نوران. There is no believing servant of God unless there are two lights in his heart or her heart. نور خيفة ونور رجاء. Light of fear and light of hope. لو وزن هذا لم يزد على هذا ولو وزن هذا لم يزد على هذا. If the light of fear is measured against and weighed against the light of hope, it would not be more. It would not overweigh. And vice versa. These two lights must be there and must be equal. So with the balance between fear and hope, we can find our way through happiness. So this is the hadith that inshallah we will talk more about it in the next session. We pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to help us to do tawakkul to be pleased with Him, to submit and delegate our affairs to Him, to rely on Him, and to have balance, fear, and hope, inshallah. Alhamdulillah, Rabbil Alamin.